The world we live in is full of phenomena that defy logic and spark our curiosity. In different corners of the planet, events arise that seem simply impossible to explain. Mysterious lights in the sky, sounds with no apparent origin, impressive natural formations and events that leave even experts without immediate answers. These are moments that make us question how much we really know about the Earth and the mysteries it hides. That is exactly what we are going to see here today. A completely unusual video spread across the internet, showing the bizarre moment in which a trail of fire appeared in the sky. Supposedly made in February of 2025, the video shows the immense trail of fire cutting through the sky, with something falling to Earth as if it were an asteroid or something of the sort that was not identified. The person filming seems frightened, and it is not for less. The trail is gigantic, and the fear created by objects colliding with Earth portrayed in movies quickly comes to the surface. The video circulated intensely everywhere, with many people believing it was some montage made by artificial intelligence. Others mentioned the hypothesis of it being some rocket part or even some space debris that would have ignited upon re-entering Earth's atmosphere. Security camera images from a place in China captured the exact moment when a light crossing the sky was intercepted by something and drew attention. The footage shows the light coming and leaving a trail, as if it were an asteroid or something like that, but upon reaching a certain point, about to hit the ground, something flies toward it and intercepts it, causing whatever it was to shatter in the sky. From the images that were shared, many theories began to be raised. People mentioned things related to aliens, others spoke of asteroids being destroyed, and others believe it may have been a missile attack that was intercepted by the local air defense system, but nothing official was recorded. In February of 2019, in the early morning, residents of the Pittsburgh region were surprised by a mysterious pillar of light that appeared in the sky and caught the attention of many people. The phenomenon happened on a very cold morning, and several people called local news channels and shared photos on social networks, impressed by the scene that looked like something out of a science fiction movie. The image showed a bright vertical column projecting upward, as if it were a beam coming from space. Despite the speculations and curious theories that arose in the first moments, meteorologists soon explained that it was nothing supernatural, but a natural optical phenomenon known as a light pillar. This occurs when ice crystals suspended in cold air reflect and refract the light of the sun, the moon, or even artificial sources, creating a luminous column in the sky. The perfect combination of low temperatures and ice crystals made the effect especially visible that morning, making the episode unforgettable for the city's residents. On the 24th of March of 2025, a rare and impressive visual phenomenon occurred in the sky of Europe. Several witnesses reported a bluish-gray luminous spiral that opened up in the firmament and drew a lot of attention. At first, speculations of all kinds arose, from alien portal to unprecedented atmospheric phenomenon. But the official explanation pointed to something more, let's say, explainable, though no less spectacular. The phenomenon was caused by a replica of the second stage of a SpaceX rocket, Falcon 9 model, which, after liftoff in Florida, released excess fuel, and due to the high altitude, this fuel, as it froze into fine particles and reflected sunlight while the body spun or moved, created the appearance of a spiral of light visible from very far away. According to the British Meteorological Service Met Office, the explanation is that the frozen rocket exhaust cloud appears to be spinning in the atmosphere and reflecting sunlight, causing the appearance of a spiral in the sky. In countries such as the United Kingdom, Italy, Denmark, Norway, Poland, and Ukraine, records or reports of this singular visual effect were made, which went viral around the world. There was a wave of unidentified drone sightings in the northeastern United States at the end of 2024 that caused a certain governmental controversy. In the period from November to December of 2024, states such as New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania recorded numerous reports of drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, flying in groups or in a coordinated way at night, in areas near critical infrastructure such as military bases, transportation facilities, and reservoirs. Security agencies such as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, joined forces to try to determine the origin and motive of these aerial incursions. As for state authorities, the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, requested federal help to deal with the situation. President Donald Trump, in turn, made statements saying that the government knows what is happening and that, if there is no transparency, they should shoot down these drones. Even though many reports pointed to unidentified drones, the federal investigation concluded, up to that point, that many of the reported objects were legal drones operated created by people who fly for hobby or even for commercial purposes. An impressive cloud phenomenon happened in Hubei province in China, where it was recorded and went viral. These are formations of the type Mammatus clouds, or simply Mammatus, that appeared in the skies of Hubei. The phenomenon occurred in mid-August of 2023, when videos and images showed clouds with rounded protrusions spread across the sky. In terms of meteorological explanation, Mammatus usually form when colder air descends, in a situation of turbulence, as opposed to ascending air that, as a rule, forms traditional clouds. They usually appear under massive storm clouds or in conditions of atmospheric instability. Despite the explanations, many people, upon observing that phenomenon for the first time, were frightened and raised diverse theories. Despite the strange appearance, the fact is that the presence of these clouds may indicate that a severe storm or strong weather instability is or was present in the region, although the Mammatus themselves do not directly cause storms. The Interstellar Object 3, Atlas, is generating a lot of attention and mystery. It was detected on the 1st of July of 2025 by the Atlas Planetary Defense System in Chile. Its trajectory is hyperbolic, that is, it is not gravitationally bound to our solar system, a fact that indicates that it came from outside it, from another star. The initial analysis showed signs of coma activity and the presence of compounds such as carbon dioxide, which reinforces the most accepted hypothesis that it is an interstellar comet. However, the mystery and some atypical characteristics ended up fueling alternative theories. The astrophysicist Avi Loeb, for example, raised the possibility that 3I Atlas could be some kind of extraterrestrial probe or artifact, an argument that quickly went viral and was embraced by enthusiasts of conspiracy theories. Scientists, however, reinforced that there is no concrete evidence to support this idea and that all data available so far are compatible with a natural body. The most likely is that it is indeed a comet coming from another star, but as it is a rare object with behavior a little different from common comets, it will continue to be closely studied, feeding both science and popular imagination. A surreal and chilling video began to gain traction on the internet recently, showing what would be an extraterrestrial craft. The footage, made in British Columbia, in Canada, shows the exact moment when a man ends up witnessing a surreal occurrence of lights emerging simply out of nowhere among the mountains and forming what would be a gigantic craft full of light, which begins to move through the place. Well, despite the traction and the various theories created, for most people it is a montage. A widely shared video claims to show a giant metallic sphere over the summit of Pico de Orizaba, the highest point in Mexico. However, fact-checking investigations point out that the most plausible explanation does not involve aliens or extraterrestrial flying objects, but rather a terrestrial structure. The Gran Telescopio Milimétrico Alfonso Serrano, a large telescope 50 meters in diameter, installed on the summit of Sierra Negra, a volcano neighboring Pico de Orizaba. Basically, what seems to have happened is that footage made from a moving car on a nearby highway recorded a very reflective object among clouds and mist that, at a distance and at the captured angle, gave the impression of a metallic sphere hovering or leaning on the top of the volcano. The checking found that the telescope installation with its large metallic dish appears at specific angles almost indistinguishable from a sphere to someone watching without context, especially in conditions of fog or low clouds. Thus, while the video fueled theories of alien bases or UFOs over Pico de Orizaba, verification shows that there is no reliable evidence of an extraterrestrial craft or a mysterious, unknown metallic sphere. A video that circulated widely on social networks, published on the page Portal dos Lagos on Facebook, shows an unusual atmospheric phenomenon in the skies of Iguaba Grande, in the Lakes region, in the state of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. In the images recorded by a local resident, it is possible to see a very distinct cloud formation, an elongated and thick structure with well-defined contours, which seems to hover in a stationary way in the sky, immediately drawing the attention of those who observed it. The video was filmed in the afternoon, with a partially clear sky, which made the cloud stand out even more against the blue background. As the camera moves, admiring voices are heard, with people commenting on the strange and different appearance of that formation. The post quickly went viral, accumulating thousands of views and shares, mainly among residents of the region and curious people interested in natural phenomena. Although some people in the comments speculated about curious theories such as the presence of UFOs or supernatural signs, experts and more attentive observers explained that such formations are usually linked to common meteorological phenomena, when clouds take on unusual shapes due to the humidity, temperature, and winds of the region. Coco 5 ended up showing an unidentified aerial object that was filmed in the Oklahoma City region. At the beginning of the video, the channel's meteorologist, Jonathan Condor, exclaims, "Did you all see that?" upon quickly noticing a bright object streaking across the sky while he was doing the live weather bulletin. According to the text on the channel's website, although it seems very strange, he later wrote in a post that he believes it could be a shooting star. The video generated curiosity because it was captured on a live broadcast and the movement was quick and unexpected. Even so, the official explanation provided by the station is that it is probably a meteor or shooting star, and not necessarily something stranger or extraterrestrial. A driver made an impressive recording that went viral on the internet, showing an incredible natural phenomenon. In the footage made by the driver, we see a severe storm and two tornadoes forming and reaching the ground simultaneously. That is right, the tornadoes were happening together and dragging everything in their path in the region, a little further ahead of where the vehicle was. Although unusual and seeming like a scene from a movie that portrays the end of the world, some experts claim that this can happen, although it is rare, especially to be sighted. An airplane pilot was passing through a place with the aircraft when he spotted something surprising passing practically right next to it. In the footage, the pilot notices an object coming in his direction, a little higher than where he was flying, when he decides to film and records, in a surprising way, a dark object that passes at high speed a few meters from the plane. The video shared by the pilot raised several theories by internet users, who mentioned, of course, the presence of a supposed alien craft. The traction was immense, and of course, along with it came some slightly more rational explanations, concluding that it could very likely be a weather balloon, but nothing was officially concluded about what it actually was, which leaves the mystery in the air. An unbelievable and at the same time bizarre sighting went viral on the internet, with a projection of what looked like a haunting. Despite the theories raised, even around extraterrestrials, the phenomenon corresponds to what is known as the Brocken Spectre. It is a rare and impressive optical illusion in which the observer's shadow is projected onto clouds or fog that are below, while the sun, or sometimes the moon, is positioned behind the observer. The effect happens when the observer is on an elevation, such as a mountain or even in an airplane, looking down toward a layer of clouds or mist. The sun is behind them, so that their shadow lengthens and is projected onto the cloud surface. The shadow appears greatly enlarged due to the lack of visual reference points and often appears surrounded by a luminous ring or colored halo, resulting from the diffraction, refraction, and backscattering of light and uniform water droplets in the cloud, causing this frightening impression. Historically, the phenomenon gained this name for occurring with some frequency on Brocken Peak in the Harz mountain range in Germany, where mists and altitudes favor the conditions for the specter to appear. Green Lake is one of the most impressive natural phenomena in Austria, which leaves many people open-mouthed, especially in the spring, when the place becomes filled with water. During the winter, the lake's water level is very low, in the order of 1 to 2 meters, or even less, and the area around serves as a park for walks, with benches, bridges, trails, vegetation, and trees clearly visible. With the arrival of spring, the melting of the mountains causes water to melt in large quantities and run down to the valley where this park is located. The result, the water level rises rapidly and floods what was a previously dry land, swallowing trails, lawns, trees, and benches, and leaving a stunning underwater landscape. At its peak, usually around May to June, the lake reaches a maximum depth of about 10 to 12 meters. The water is incredibly crystal clear due to the origin of the waters, and with that, submerged trees, benches that stay underwater, and the trails that were previously dry become visible, and of course, that attracts a lot of attention. Visitors to a resort, located in the mountains of a place in Turkey, witnessed the appearance of a mysterious column of light that seemed to emerge from the sky and remain motionless for several hours. The phenomenon would have occurred in late January or early February of 2022, according to some publications. The description says that while the tourists were exploring the mountain slopes, they observed a beam of light coming from the clouds, fixed on the horizon, visible for about 3 hours, which surprised many present there. Although some people compared the beam of light to a UFO or to something out of science fiction, the resort stated that the phenomenon was natural, and some sources suggest that it was crepuscular rays or sunbeams projected through clouds and atmospheric particles, creating the illusion of a vertical column of light. There is no detailed scientific confirmation available to the public to determine all the exact atmospheric conditions or the complete causality, and for that reason, everything becomes even more mysterious. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.